Have you ever considered the possibility that the parts of yourself you try hardest to avoid, your insecurities, your fears, your repressed desires, might be the very keys to your personal transformation? What if, by confronting the aspects of yourself you've hidden away, you could unlock a version of you that is more powerful, more resilient, and more in control of your life? That's what we're going to explore today. The shadow self. This concept might sound intimidating, but by understanding and integrating your shadow, you can tap into a level of growth and empowerment that few people ever reach. The idea of the shadow self comes from the psychologist Carl Jung, who described it as the unconscious parts of our personality that we suppress or deny. These are the elements of ourselves that we often don't even want to acknowledge. Things like anger, jealousy, fear, or even desires that we deem unacceptable. But here's the crucial part. The shadow isn't something evil or bad. It's simply the aspects of your personality that you've been taught not to show or embrace. And the longer you leave these aspects hidden, the more they will influence your behavior in ways you may not realize. Why is this important for personal growth? Because true self-development isn't just about focusing on the positive. It's about acknowledging and working with the full spectrum of who you are, including the parts you've pushed into the shadows. Growth happens when you face your shadow, when you integrate it, and when you realize that those hidden parts of yourself aren't weaknesses. They're opportunities for transformation. But there's a problem. Most people are afraid to face their shadow self. We live in a society that encourages us to focus on the light, to avoid negativity, and to present only the most polished version of ourselves to the world. As a result, we build walls around our shadow, we resist it, and in doing so, we create a battle within ourselves. This inner conflict manifests in so many ways, whether it's through anxiety, self-sabotage, or feeling stuck in life, unable to move forward. When you suppress your shadow, it doesn't disappear. It grows stronger in the background, shaping your thoughts, actions, and emotions without you even realizing it. For example, consider how often people struggle with self-sabotage. You might have big goals and dreams, but every time you get close to achieving them, something happens. Maybe it's procrastination, maybe it's doubt, or maybe you just give up. This is often your shadow at play, your fear of failure, your deep-seated belief that you're not worthy of success, or your past experiences of rejection. These elements of your shadow are working behind the scenes, preventing you from reaching your potential. The shadow is powerful, and until you face it, it will continue to limit you. So how do you start this process of connecting with your shadow? It begins with courage. The courage to look at yourself honestly, without judgment. One of the most effective tools for this is journaling. When you sit down and write without filters, without trying to present yourself in a certain way, you give your shadow a voice. You can start to see the patterns in your thinking, the fears that drive your actions, and the beliefs that hold you back. Write about your frustrations, your insecurities, and the things that you feel ashamed of. The more you write, the more you'll uncover. Journaling is like holding up a mirror to your inner world, and the reflection will show you the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. Meditation is another powerful practice for connecting with your shadow. When you meditate, you create a quiet space where your inner world can rise to the surface. You may notice feelings of discomfort, anxiety, or even fear during meditation. These are signals from your shadow asking for your attention. Instead of pushing these feelings away, allow yourself to sit with them. Observe them without judgment. This process helps you develop a deeper understanding of your shadow, and over time, you'll start to feel more comfortable with the emotions and thoughts that arise. Meditation teaches you to face your inner world with acceptance, which is a critical step in integrating your shadow. Self-reflection is another key practice. This goes beyond casual introspection. It's about asking yourself the difficult questions. What are you afraid of? What aspects of your personality make you uncomfortable? What triggers you in your relationships or daily life? And most importantly, why? When you dig into these questions, you begin to see the shadow elements that have been driving your behavior. Self-reflection forces you to confront the uncomfortable truths about yourself, but in doing so, it frees you. The more you understand your shadow, the less power it has over you. Instead of being controlled by your unconscious fears and desires, you start to make conscious choices about how you want to live and who you want to become. Now let me share a personal story. For years, I struggled with a fear of rejection. It was such a deep-seated part of me that I didn't even realize how much it controlled my life. I avoided taking risks. I hesitated to put myself out there, and I constantly doubted my worth. But as I started journaling and reflecting on these fears, I began to uncover the shadow behind them. It wasn't just a fear of rejection. It was a fear of not being good enough, of not being worthy of love or success. For so long, I had pushed this fear into the shadows, pretending it didn't exist. But the moment I allowed myself to truly feel it, to understand it, everything changed. I realized that this fear wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was a part of me, and by acknowledging it, I could finally stop letting it control me. That breakthrough moment was a turning point in my life. By embracing my shadow, by accepting the parts of myself I had long denied, I experienced a sense of freedom and self-empowerment that I had never known before. The fear of rejection no longer held me back. It became a guide, showing me where I needed to grow, where I needed to heal. This is the transformation that happens when you embrace your shadow. You stop running from yourself, and you start integrating all aspects of who you are. The parts of you that you once feared or rejected become sources of strength, guiding you toward your highest potential. Your shadow, when embraced, is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally on the path to personal growth. To sum it all up, the journey of connecting with your shadow self is one of the most powerful things you can do for your personal development. Techniques like journaling, meditation, and self-reflection are tools that help you bridge the gap between your conscious self and the parts of you that remain hidden in the shadows. When you do this work, you don't just confront your fears, you transform them into stepping stones for growth. You learn to embrace the full spectrum of who you are, and in doing so, you unlock your true potential. Now I want to hear from you. What are your experiences with your shadow self? Have you ever tried to connect with it? If so, what techniques have worked for you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's create a space where we can support each other on this journey of self-discovery and growth. And if you're ready to dive even deeper, check out my other videos on personal development and transformation. Remember, your shadow isn't something to fear. It's a part of you that holds the key to unlocking your greatest potential. Let's continue this journey together.